Hello everybody and welcome back to A Thinking Pack episode 30 with Handy Andy. I think this is 30. It better be 30. Anyways, welcome back to Thinking Pack episode 30 with Handy Andy, and today we are doing the last piece to this puzzle. This puzzle being the quarry fueling project to bring the lava from downstairs to upstairs, and the tree is in the way. So yeah, so we're doing the last piece of this puzzle, and we better get started because we have a lot to do. So the last piece is this turtle here is supposed to be taking... No. That button. There we go. Is supposed to be taking the items, the full buckets from the chest, and putting them into this chest over here. But no. It's supposed to be taking the full items from that chest, sticking the full lava buckets in the engine, and then when they have been used, because it doesn't always use them right away, then sticks the empty buckets in this chest here. So that is what we're trying to do. So there's two things we need this turtle to do. One is we need it to control the buckets, but two is we need it to actually interface with redstone, because what I have it doing, basically this hopper, if you didn't know, hopper is redstone controlled. And so if you apply a redstone signal, the hopper won't run, which means that the hopper won't just be pushing buckets randomly into the chest here, into the turtle. And there's something else. I don't know if I will be doing all that code this time or not, but also I designed the program so that you can just copy the program onto a different turtle, and then you can like extend the chain of engines, which is something that we will definitely need to do in the future. So I'm not sure whether to put that in the program right now or not, but anyways, we'll give it a shot. So, enough talk, and let's get down to business. So there is currently nothing on the turtle, as we would expect. Edit. Let's call it... Let's see. What can we call it? What did I call it in the test program that I made? Let's just call it... Wait, wrong program. There we go. Back to Minecraft. Okay. Let's call it Fuel Engine. Alrighty. And let's save this program. And so now, what we can do is we can get started. If I get my my test program where I can actually see it. I probably should have done that before we started the video, but oh well. Alright, so 3 basic things that this program needs to do. it needs to, and throughout it, it needs to deal with redstone. But 3 basic things. It needs to take the buckets out of the hopper behind it. It needs to stick the lava buckets in the engine above, and it needs to stick the empty buckets in the chest in front of it. And an interesting thing is that, so the way I had this working in the test program, and I assume I'm going to do the same thing again, but the way I had this working was the turtle, it gets a bucket from somewhere, and it doesn't necessarily know where it gets it from. So all it does is it checks what kind of a bucket is it, and then if it's a lava bucket, then it sticks it up in the engine. Oh! Okay, and then if it's a empty bucket, then it sticks it in the chest. I just realized I could probably do this program in a lot fewer lines than the way I did it in the test program. All right, so let's get started. So let's see. So one thing we need. Let's actually, okay, I'm going to completely rewrite the program because I think it's better. So we need 2 functions. Function, and call this function get bucket from chest. And in case you're wondering, what we're going to do is we're not going to have it have the 3 buckets in its inventory like that. I'm going to fill its inventory with cobblestone so that it's only dealing with 1 bucket at a time. So, okay, so, and then we need another function deal with buckets. Deal with buckets. Bucket. Deal with bucket, because it's only dealing with 1 at a time. End. And then down here, we're going to tell it to actually run those functions, and we want it to keep repeating them indefinitely. So function, no, not function. We want to keep it repeating. So let's do a while loop, and I have explained all this before, and if you're interested, go and watch the programming tutorial that I did a while ago. But so while true is true, do, and in here, we're going to put our 2 functions. So our 2 functions, what did we call? I forgot it already. What did we call? Okay, get bucket from chest. So first we want it to run get bucket from chest. There we go. And we want it to run deal with bucket. There we go. So simply 2 things that we need it to do. So now let's fill in those functions. So what this does at this current time, it says the get bucket from chest function, this is what it's going to do, which it has nothing in it yet. The deal with bucket function, it has nothing in yet either, but down here it tells it to run those functions. So they are going to do absolutely nothing at the moment, so we better fix that. So get bucket from chest. So what we need it to do is, so the hopper is always on unless it gets a redstone signal applied to it, and then it is off. So what we need to do is we need to tell this turtle, first thing to do is, actually I'm going to do that outside of the function even, because it needs to be the first thing. It needs to be the first thing. So is we need to turn the redstone on. So redstone dot set output, and we say back, and then we say true, and there we go. So the first thing it does is it sets the redstone on the back of the turtle. So basically these turtles, you can't see it, but they can output a redstone signal. The computers can too. They output a redstone signal on any side that you want. So you just say back, front, left, right, up, down, things like that. And then it will output a redstone signal on that side. Actually, I wonder if I should do that to get the engines to run. Because the engine needs a redstone signal as well. So let's do that too. So we want, after we set the redstone on the back to true so that the hopper doesn't run to start, we also want it to turn redstone on for the engine so that the engine will run as well. So redstone dot set output, and so it's called up, I think, and if it's not, then we will find out. True. There we go. So now the engine has a permanent redstone signal on it so that the engine will run. So now all we need is to fill in our function. So it starts with having the redstone on so that the hopper doesn't run. So it starts with the hopper not running. So the next thing we need is to allow a bucket in. So here is a thing. So you might think, oh, just like check if there's a bucket already in the inventory and then allow the hopper to run. But no, because there could be a bucket that the turtle left up in the engine up here, and then we restarted the game or something, and then it's going to get jammed with having 2 buckets in the inventory. So what we want it to do is we want it to, before it turns the hopper on, yes, check if there's a bucket in the inventory, but also suck from the engine above, and then check if there's a bucket in the inventory. So let's do that. So first thing we want it to do, turtle.suck, if I can spell correctly, turtle.suck up. So that will pull any leftover buckets out of the engine above. There we go. And then we want then we want to check the inventory slot. So this slot will always be selected because we're not changing it, so we don't need to worry about selecting the slot. So we just need to turtle.getItemCount. Should be good enough. Okay, here's the thing. So we need this in an if statement. So basically what we're doing here, we want it to check, is there an item in the slot? What item is in the slot? And then if it finds a lava bucket, then stick it up in the engine above because that means the engine didn't use it yet. Or if it is a regular bucket, then stick it in the chest in front. So that is the thing. And when we try to get item detail when there is no item in the slot, then it crashes if I remember right. So first thing we want it to do, we want an if statement. If turtle.getItemCount is equal to is greater than, if turtle.getItemCount is greater than 0, so if there is an item in the slot, then do this stuff in the if statement. So what we want it to do is, if there is an item, then do turtle.getItemDetail. GetItemDetail. There we go. And we're going to want that in a variable so that we can use the information that it gets. We're going to want 2 variables, I think, if I remember correctly. Oh man, I'm forgetting. Okay, so item info should be good enough. I think I'm doing this wrong. Actually, I think I need 2 variables because the item detail, it gets you 3 pieces of information. And the first piece is true or false, is there an item? And then the second piece is, which means that it wouldn't crash. Okay, obviously I've forgotten what I'm doing. Excuse me. Obviously I've forgotten what I'm doing at the moment. So that is a thing. So, okay. I'm going to have to look this up, actually. I'm going to go check out my other turtle downstairs and see how you do turtle.getItem detail, because I actually forgot. So that is a thing. So if this were a live stream, then I'd ask you if you could help me, but it's not a live stream, so that's a thing that is a thing. So down we go, and we're gonna check out that turtle to see turtle.getItem detail how I did the variable for that thing, because I forget. So we used it in this turtle. So edit bucket filler. So let's see, oh, it's turtle.inspect that we use two variables for. Turtle.getItem detail is a different thing. Ah, it's just one variable. Okay, yeah, I was right. I was confusing the inspect with the item detail. Alright, so let's head back upstairs. So item detail is just one variable, so that's good to know. So now we can get that going, and when we get that going, then that's good. So, two sections to the program. First, get a bucket from somewhere, and second, deal with the bucket that it has gotten. So what we're going to need to do, we're going to need to have this first function looping until it receives a bucket. So that's what we're going to do. So here we go. So yeah, we just need one variable to handle the get item detail. So if there is an item in the slot, then get item detail, and I think I'm right that it does crash if you check for item detail without there being an item. So that's why I have it in an if statement. Okay, so where are we now? We need to get it. So we have it setting the redstone to start. Then sucking from out of the engine above. Then checking if there is an item in the slot. And if there is an item in the slot, then get the item detail. And what does it call the variables? What does it call the things? Do I need to do .name? Do I not need to do .name? Let's find out. So turtle.getItem detail, count, name, and damage. Okay, so we do need to do .name. Okay, so let's try that. So edit fuel engine. So turtle.getItem detail. So what we're trying to do at this point, we're trying to find out what is that item that's in the slot. So, and then we have two possibilities, unless something else gets in the system by accident. So if it is a lava bucket, then place it above. And I'm sorry, I'm bumping my headphone wire. I don't know if you can hear it in the mic. So if it is a lava bucket, we want to place it above. And if it is an empty bucket, then we want to place it in front. So let's do that. So if item info.name is equal to, and then the technical name for a bucket, lava bucket, Minecraft :lava _ bucket, and I don't think it has any capitals, so we'll just go with that. Then, and enter if statement. So if it checks the name and it is a lava bucket, then place the bucket above. So turtle.drop, not detect, turtle.drop up. There we go. And so then we have the other condition. Let's just say else. So let's say if it's anything other than a lava bucket, then stick it in the chest. Because for one thing, the code is simpler, and for another thing, it deals with if anything else happens to get into the system. So else, if it's not a lava bucket, then turtle.drop drop, and that will stick it in the chest in front of it. There we go. And now we need to do a little more code here. So if it finds that it is a lava bucket, we want it to drop it up into the engine above. But that's not the only thing we want it to do. We want it to... Wait, I'm just realizing what I'm doing here should probably be put into the deal with bucket section up there. So, okay. So rather than... You know what? Let's just do it right here. The code would be simpler. Okay. Sorry, I keep changing my mind as we're going. That probably makes it a little confusing to follow. And I apologize if it is confusing to follow. But anyways, so if it is a lava bucket, then drop it up, and then what we want it to do, we don't want it to leave it there. So we want it to wait, give it time for the quarry to fuel. So os.sleep, and let's say sleep, let's say 5 seconds, because these engines take a long time to use the buckets. So, I mean, like, it uses the bucket instantly, unless there's already fuel in the engine, in which case it takes like a few minutes for the fuel to get used up before it uses the new bucket. So yeah, let's just sleep it for 5 seconds. And then we want it to pick up the bucket from above again. So turtle dot, and what is it? Suck. There we go. So turtle dot suck up. There we go. So if it does find a lava bucket, then drop the lava bucket into the engine, and then get the lava bucket from the engine, and then we're good to go. And I think we could do this all in one loop, unless there's something I've forgotten about. So okay, so what we're doing now, we have it. So this is just the setup. I'm losing track already, and this is not good. When the guy explaining is losing track, then you got problems. So get bucket from chest. So first thing to do, check if there is a bucket in the engine above or in the inventory or anything. And then if there is, then deal with the bucket is basically what this does. And then, now that it has dealt with the bucket, and also now that it should be empty. Okay, here's the thing. Let us repeat this here until it knows that it's empty. Actually, that would require variables. I'm sorry, I'm very disorganized at the moment. Rewriting a program on the spot is not the easiest thing to do in the world. Usually I do this off camera, so perhaps that's the way I should do it from this point forward. But okay, so we'll assume at this point that, because what it could do if it ends up sticking the bucket back up in the engine, then it sucks it again from the engine, and then what happens after it does that, then it could wind up with a bucket in the inventory again. So yeah, we do need to put this in a loop. So let's do a repeat loop. The thing with repeat loops is that it runs the code inside it at least once. So it runs it, and then it gets down to the condition down at the bottom. And then it checks, and it's like, is this condition true or not? And then it's like, all right, so then let's continue. So that's the idea. So repeat, and let's stick down here until... Okay, so we need it to run this code at least once. So what that does is it checks the engine and it checks the turtle for buckets. And then we could wind up at the end with a bucket having just been taken out of the engine again. And so we want it to repeat this until it finds no bucket in the inventory. So we're going to have to create this variable somewhere else, but let's make a variable bucket in inventory until bucket in inventory is equal to 0. And then it knows it can take from the chest behind it. So, okay. So now bucket in inventory, we need to actually set that to start with. So let's give it an initial value so that it starts. So bucket in inventory. Oh, sorry, I spelled it wrong. Inventory. There we go. So let's give it an initial value of 1. So we assume that there is a bucket in the inventory, and then we do all these checks. And then at the end, it should come out saying 0. There is no bucket in the inventory. So where do we want it to change? So we need it to somewhere determine that there is no bucket in the inventory. Oh, right here. If turtle.getItemCount is greater than 0, then do all this. So this is after it sucks from above. If it finds a bucket, then it does all this stuff. If it doesn't find a bucket, then there is no bucket. So that means the getItemCount is not greater than 0. So we can just simply say if turtle.getItemCount is greater than 0, then do all that. Else, so if it's not greater than 0, that means it is 0, which means that there is no item in inventory. So let's do our variable here. Item in inventory. There we go. I think I spelled it right this time. That's good. And set it to 0. There we go. So if the item count is 0, then there is no item in the inventory. And so then it will continue with the program. So here we go. We got it checks to get the item from the chest. So what we are doing now, so that just checked if it got something from the engine above. So now we need it to actually deal with the chest. So bucket in inventory is 0, so there is no bucket in the inventory. So let us activate the hopper to pull an item out of the chest into the turtle. So let's do that right here, still within the same function, but at the end of it. So what we want it to do, I'm going to add a comment. So 2 dashes, and you can add a comment. So this is the section where deal with chest. There we go. So now, all we need to do is deal with the chest. So now we know that there is no bucket in the engine. We know that there is no bucket in the turtle. So now we can grab a bucket out of the chest from the hopper. So all we need to do is just simply redstone dot set output back and false. And what that will do, that will turn the hopper on. The redstone signal goes off, so the hopper will turn on, so the hopper will just keep pumping buckets until it turns off. So what we want it to do is we'll give it a second, os.sleep, so 1, and then we want to turn the redstone back on so that the hopper turns off. Redstone dot set output back. There we go, and true. True, there we go. So what this will do is once it is done up here, once it is done dealing with the engine and the turtle, then it will simply check the chest, so it will allow a bucket through the chest. And there we go. So now we're at the point where the turtle will actually get its buckets. It's able to get its buckets. And I'm going to go sleep, get rid of this nighttime while I can. And I'm stuck in my head. There we go. So now we have it so that the turtle can actually collect the buckets. Now the one thing we have left to do, once it gets a bucket from a chest, oh, I can make this jump if I go like this. There we go. So once it gets its bucket from the chest, then we need it to actually deal with the engine and the chest again. You know what I should have done? All this code in here, all this code dealing with what item is it, do different things with it, and stuff like that, I should have put that in this function, deal with bucket, and just stuck that first. So, yeah, so that's the thing I should have done. So, in any case, let's do it here now. So, once it gets to this point, then it has grabbed a bucket from the chest, or at least tried to, because there may be no buckets in the chest. And so then at that point, you know what? Can we just loop? I think we can just loop this function. That saves a lot of code. This function here. I think we can just loop that and it will work. Let's see if I figure that correctly. So it might mess it up having this suck up line right here. So I'm going to delete that and put it outside of the function. Turtle.suck up. There we go. And I think we're good to go. So let's just have it loop this single function. So take this out. And I think it'll work. Let's actually see. Restart so that we clear all the variables, if there were any to clear. Fuel engine. 2, invalid side. Invalid side. Edit fuel engine. 2. Is it top? Redstone.set output top. I've done this before, but I don't remember what the word was. Alright, restart again. And not edit. Let's run. What did we call it? Fuel engine. There we go. Ah, there we go. So you can see the engine is running up above the interface there. You can see it's running. And it should be too long without yielding on number 7. All right, there you go. That's where we run into our debugging. So 7 repeat. Oh, okay. So it's the repeat loop keeps going. This could be a problem. Repeat until bucket in inventory is equal to 0. Oh, there's our problem. Okay, we have 2 problems. First problem, this is item in inventory. You may have noticed that long before I did. Bucket in inventory. There we go. So it will set it to 0. But I think we have another problem. And I think that problem is, I think what will happen if we're running this is it's not going to wait and pull the bucket out of the Stirling engine properly. You know what? We should have left that suck up line inside the function. So let's do that, because when it repeats, it doesn't actually try to grab the bucket, so it's just going to grab another bucket from the chest. So that is not the way we have it intended. That is not the way we have intended for it to go. So turtle dot suck up, and I think we're good to go. So let's see. Restart. Run fuel engine. So it should. Oh wait, did it? Maybe it was just really fast. Okay, there is no bucket actually in the engine up there. It stuck it in the chest and it sent it back downstairs already. So that's a thing. So let's stick these other 2 buckets in there. So they go into the hopper. And one of them went into the turtle. So here's where, so you see the engine already has fuel in it, so it's not using the lava bucket. So what's going to happen is the turtle is going to keep every so often taking the bucket out of the engine into its inventory and then placing it back into the engine because it's like, oh, that's still a lava bucket. And it will keep doing that until the engine here runs out of fuel, and then it uses the lava that's in the bucket, and then the turtle will see, oh, now it's an empty bucket, and then it sticks it in the chest. So we should see we're good to go. So we should let that run for a while. And it should, in fact, keep going. And we should see that at some point, this hopper here, so this bucket will get thrown into the turtle. And then it will eventually use that bucket too. And send it down. Actually, so as soon as this bucket gets sent down, then that means there will be 3 buckets downstairs, which means that the turtle downstairs will be like, oh, I'm full now. So then it brings the 3 buckets up and sticks them in the chest. So now we have a fully automatic system, except for getting the lava into the engine in the first place. We now have a fully automatic system, aside from that, to fuel our quarry. So we're good to go. So this is definitely very exciting. So yeah, and I don't know if maybe I don't sound excited, but I am excited. This is a very exciting situation. So let's head back downstairs and see that that bucket has actually made it down. So we have 4 buckets. 2 of them are upstairs, which means we should have 2 of them downstairs. So let's check if we have, in fact, 2 of them downstairs. And they should be 2 full buckets in the turtle. Is what they should be. 1 bucket. Oh, did we not start this turtle? We did start this turtle. Oh, it's not there yet. So we should be able to see it somewhere. Should be in this pipe somewhere. The new bucket that's coming. Because this pipe is actually very slow. That's the point of the golden pipes, is to speed it up so that it's not as slow. Maybe I should do that because this is gonna take a long time. So let's wait for the bucket. Let's wait to see that the bucket actually makes it back downstairs. So I'm gonna head and make some golden pipes while we're waiting, because that could be very helpful. And then when the bucket makes it back downstairs, the last thing I'm gonna do is fill up the tank with the lava from that lake there, which is the only manual thing, but I'm not going to automate that yet because it requires a pump, which requires a lot of iron that we don't have, so yeah. So here we go. So golden pipes. It requires glass. There we go, we got some glass. So let's stick all the glass in here except for 1. And let's get 2 gold out of here. And there we go. We get our golden transport pipe. And let's stick this back in here because we don't need it. And we don't need the arrows on us right now either. Or the iron, or the coal, or the flint, or this coal. So there we go. We don't need this much cobblestone. We don't need the gravel. We don't need that much cobblestone either. And we can put our hoe back. There we go. So let's head back downstairs and Actually, not downstairs. So the golden pipe, it speeds up items. So as you can see, it says speeds up items. So basically, we're going to stick it up at the top here so that it's going to travel the distance down to underground much quicker. And I'm going to try to make this jump. There we go. Let's see. It's still dealing with that bucket. The quarry is still running, so that's great. Oh, and I should check, actually, while we're here on... Okay, we have some space. That's good, because you wouldn't want to... We wouldn't want to lose what we've got from the quarry. Alright, so let's take this pipe here. Let's get down. This is our pipe maintenance tunnel. And let us do this. Stick 3 golden pipes here. And then let's go farther down and stick some 3 pipes farther down as well. Oh, there's some coal. We can grab the coal while we're here. There we go. That's nice. Nice, nice, nice. Very nice. Oh, and there's even more. There's even more. So, next step, I'd like to get a better pickaxe when we have the iron for it. Actually, how many diamonds do we have? Because we might have enough for a diamond pickaxe. I don't know. There we go. So let's head out. And it's dark already. Let's dig down some more. Let's go. So the golden pipes, basically, they speed items up. But then they do slow down because this cobblestone pipe has a lot of drag on it. So they do slow down. So we're putting another bit of golden pipe down here so that we can keep the items going somewhat fast. And let's see, how far are we from down at the bottom there? Okay. Here we are. I'm gonna stick some more golden pipes here. And there we go. So now I just have to make it out, which should be fairly easy to do. I don't think I'll die. Oh, I died. Okay, I better go back and get the stuff because that wouldn't be good to lose all that. So there we go. So we should be good to go. So we should see that the bucket is there when we arrive. I think, if I judge the speed of the pipes properly, which I might not be. But yeah, if I judge the speed of the pipes properly, then the bucket should be here. And there we go. We got all our stuff back. So let's head over and check. We should see 2 buckets in the turtle there. There we go. So we got 2 buckets up on the surface, and we got this system has properly... Where's the... That's the fluid loader. Why can't I click on this cart here? I don't know. Why can't I click on the cart? That's the thing. Anyways, so we got our system fully working. So all I have left to do is to fill this tank. So this tank fills that tank, which fills that tank, so I have a lot of filling to do. So I'm just going to do that, and then we're good to go. If I can actually get something to fill it with. There we go. Let's at least fill the tank cart, I think, because there's a lot of tanks here, as I just said. So let's at least fill the tank cart up, and then we'll leave it and we'll be good to go. So yeah, so what else can we talk about at the moment? So next episode, we should be moving on. So that's exciting. So let me check. I have some notes for next episode. So let's see what I have written here. let's grab our lava while we're at it. Sorry, I'm going kind of quiet. I lost what to say. So that's not ideal. So, okay, that was dangerous. That was not a good block to break. So, yeah. Alright, so next episode, we are going to be... So, next episode, I think we are going to be... Seeing as this project has taken so long, I might give an overview of the project, what we have done, what we have accomplished, all that kind of stuff. And then, if we have any time left in the episode, then I'm going to go stand in front of the quarry and time-lapse it. So, I was saying in a previous episode that I have a new intro ready. So, I took the current intro and I remixed it, basically. And so, yeah, so I like it, actually. One problem, the current intro is way too long, so I made it shorter. And, yeah, so it's exciting. So I'm thinking that next episode I'm going to be explaining what has happened in the project and what we're doing and what we were doing and how, basically giving an overview of what is going on in the project now. And then if we have any time left in the episode, then I'm going to be time-lapsing the quarry with the new music and everything like that. And yeah, so it's going to be exciting. So hopefully you enjoyed the video, and I'm going to keep filling this tank here while we have the opportunity. And I still can't click on the tank card. I don't know why I can't do that. But in any case, yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed the video, and we're done the project now, so that's really exciting. So we can move on to Minechem. So next episode is going to be giving a little bit of an overview, and then we're going to move on to Minechem, which is a lot of fun. So, yeah, so as I said like a million times already, hopefully you enjoyed the video, and see you later. Bye-bye!